Hey, so I'm going to show you how to play the 7 different modes, aka the church modes, the major modes, the Ionian modes, the Greek modes. They've got a few different names, but it's all the same thing. It's based off the first mode, Ionian, the major scale. But I'm going to show them to you out of order, and I'm going to show you them in the order that I think is the most important or the most popular, the way that Phish and mostly Trey uses in their improvisational jams. And we're going to do it across about 10 or so different Phish songs. As always, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. If you're liking the content, please consider signing up to my Patreon. It's only $5 a month, and you'll get access to all these YouTube videos I'm putting out a little bit earlier than the YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate it, and it'd help me as an artist to put out more content just like today's video. First up is the Dorian mode. That's technically the second mode of the major scale modes. Here it is in B flat. Now, the contents or the identity of that mode is a 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, and a flat 7. So it's a minor sounding mode because it has a minor third in it. And a couple of songs that come to mind that Trey would play this over would be Birds of a Feather, which is in C, Dorian, technically, not a key, but a scale. Another jam session where Trey's known for using this mode is in Ghost. You could hear the use of the major 6 that's in that mode. Bending up to the flat 7, going down to the 5th. So those are some popular uses of the Dorian mode. You hear this across the majority of Phish jams. An equally popular mode would be the Mixolydian mode. Here it is also in B flat. In fact, I'm going to do all of these modes across B flat. Now you can hear Trey play this in a lot of jams. In one of the songs where this is really popular is the song Bathtub Gin. You can hear it right away in the lick that they play before they descend into the jam. Or in a more improvisational setting. Basically like a more happy major sounding version of the Dorian scale. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1. So it's identical to Dorian except it has a major third in it to give it that more triumphant, joyous, happy major sound. So you can still get that 6 to flat 7 sound. Another popular jam that they would do that in is the Down with Disease jam. The next two most common modes would be the major scale and the minor scale, aka Ionian and Aeolian. Let's start with Ionian. Now Ionian, major scale, is the scale that all of these modes technically derive from. Here's the Ionian scale, and its identity is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. a song you could use Ionian over in the jam session would be Lawn Boy when you do jam it out, or think about Mike's bass when he takes that solo. Now, Trey uses this plenty throughout his improvisational jams. In fact, he'll switch up the different modes that he's using, even though Dorian and Mixolydian are probably the most common. Now, the sixth mode, our natural minor scale, aka Aeolian, also known as the minor scale itself. Here it is in B flat. Has the identity 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. So it's the same as Dorian, except it has a flat 6, which has this more kind of classical minor sound, a little darker of a sound than Dorian does, which is a little more funky and a little more happy, I guess, with the natural 6. So Aeolian has that flat 6. Flat 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, 1. Now, Trey's not really famous for soloing with this. He uses Dorian way more, but there are a couple instances where he does use Aeolian. One example is the song Free. The band is really just playing a D5, so you could play over a D power chord, and then a B flat major, and a... So anytime the band hits that to the B flat, you could technically play a D Aeolian on top of that B flat major chord. A lot of times Trey will arpeggiate the B flat major. But the D Aeolian works very nicely as well. And I think Trey also uses A Aeolian on the guitar solo in Mockingbird, which just, it sounds very like kind of classic rock, and it doesn't sound like a typical Treyanastasio solo. The next mode I want to show you is the Lydian mode, and it's one of my favorites. It's a major mode, meaning it has a major third. In fact, the identity of it is 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is very close to the major scale, except it has that sharp 4, that tritone. Here's what it sounds like in B flat. Now, Trey uses this in Reba over the E flat to F jam, where you've got an E flat major chord going up a whole step to an F major. And it sounds really nice to play an E flat Lydian. Moving on to Phrygian mode, the third mode in the major scale modes, has the identity 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, and flat 7. So it's a minor mode because of that flat third, but you got that special identity note, the flat 2. Now, Trey doesn't really improvise with this scale too much, but there's a couple of songs where he used that flat 2 interval with a chord. For instance, Colonel Forbin, where he plays an A flat, A flat, then up to that A diminished. Technically not a Phrygian mode, but it's giving you that Phrygian sound with that flat 2. Now, he does a similar thing in the beginning of Fuego, with those power chords doing a 1, 1 to a flat 2 and then back down. And finally, that brings us to Locrian. Now, I can't think of any Phish jams where Trey really just stays in Locrian, but here's an example of how you can use Locrian over a Phish song. If you take the stash chords, when you get to that E half diminished 7 or that E minor 7 flat 5, Locrian is a great mode to use over a half diminished 7 chord. Well, I hope you liked the video, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and take care.